MyNut.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are making double chocolate, fudgy, rich, indulgent avocado cookies. They taste like brownies, but they're cookies, they're brookies, they're brownie cookies. They're so fudgy and delicious and rich and indulgent. I think I said all those words, but you guys are going to love them. We are using avocado instead of some dairy. We're using it instead of some oil. It's gonna add a nice creaminess to the mixture. It makes for a really super fudgy cookie, which I know you guys are going to love. They're vegan, they're gluten-free, and they're all made in our food processor. Pop them in the oven, simple as that. They are so delicious, and I know you guys are gonna love this recipe. If you're liking the sound of these avocado cookies, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, do all that good stuff. And if you like avocado desserts, definitely head down in the description box. I'm linking to this recipe so you can print it out and make it for yourself. I also have an avocado brownie recipe on the blog, which is a fan favorite, and avocado pudding. So definitely head down there to check it all out. So without further ado, let's make some double chocolate avocado brownie cookies. Brownie cookies. So the first thing we're gonna do is make our flax eggs. So I have 1/4 cup of water. In my measuring cup, I'm just gonna put 2 tablespoons of brown flax meal, put it right into the water, give it a mix, stir it up, and then just set it aside for about 5 minutes. It's gonna come together, it's gonna get thick, kind of like a jelly consistency, and it's gonna serve as our egg replacement. So we're making a flax egg, setting it aside for 5 minutes, and while that sets, we are gonna put in our wet ingredients into our food processor. All right, so this is the perfect recipe when you have an avocado that's a little brown, a little overripe, and a little, just been sitting in your fridge for maybe a day or two. So you just want half of a large avocado. If you have a smaller avocado, you can use the whole thing, but since this is a rather large avocado, you just want 1/2. So we're just gonna scoop all of this right into our food processor. This is perfectly ripe, super creamy and delicious. So now we're gonna add 1/4 cup of agave nectar. I like agave nectar because it's low glycemic, so it doesn't spike Jerry's blood sugars. You could use honey or maple syrup or coconut nectar we also like. So we're gonna put that right in. Along with 1/2 cup of peanut butter. You could use any nut or seed butter that you like. You can put that right in. Tahini, I've been wanting to try. I think that would be really interesting. Sunflower seed butter would be fun. Almond butter, of course. Cashew butter. Possibilities, you guys. Get creative with it. All right, and then after that, we're just gonna do a splash of vanilla, which is about 1 teaspoon. And then you're gonna look at your flax egg. If you shake it a little bit, you're gonna see that it's really kind of congealed and holds together and kind of has an egg white consistency. So once it looks like that, you can just pop it right into your food processor. And this is just gonna be your binding, hold everything together, kind of binding agent. Get in there. All right, that looks good. All right, so we're just gonna cream all of these wet ingredients together, pop your lid on, and let it run for about 1 minute. Oh, that's the pulse. All right, so you might wanna take a break, use your spatula, scrape down the sides, make sure everything's looking creamy, no chunks, and once it looks good, which this does, it looks really good, you can add your cocoa powder. So this is 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. We're adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. Pop this back on, get it nice and combined. Scrape it down, fold down the sides. This is looking so thick and rich and creamy. Oh my gosh, super thick. This is gonna be a super sticky batter, which I'll get to in a little bit. As to how you can work with it easily. Now that it's nice and folded together and creamed together and thick and fudgy, we're gonna put 1/2 cup of dark chocolate chips in. You could use dairy-free chocolate chips, whatever you like. We're gonna do about 1/2 cup. I'm gonna save some for sprinkling on top. So put most of them on, and then we're also gonna do the same 1/2 cup of walnuts. This is optional, but fun. 1/2 cup of walnuts, and then and save some for sprinkling on top. I think brownies and walnuts are such a good combination, so that's why I'm adding it here. But if you don't like walnuts, you can leave them out, and they are delicious. I've had them without, and they are so good. So just fold everything together until the chocolate chips and the walnuts are nice and combined. And then we're just gonna pop this off. I'm going to prepare my baking sheet, and I'll check back in with you in a minute. All right, so I have my baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I have my deliciously nutty, chunky chocolate chip double chocolate batter over here. And what I'm going to do is take my ice cream scooper. Now, I think this is easiest just to create the mounds if you have one of these babies. So what you want to do is just get one scoop, get a mound, and just put it right onto the baking sheet. These don't expand too much, so you can put them kind of close together. I'm gonna try to fit 8 on the sheet. All right, these look good, super fudgy mounds. So this is a super sticky batter. So how I like to flatten them out is I just get a little cup of water, dip your spoon in. You don't wanna like scoop the spoon, just dip it in so that the back is nice and wet. And then you can just flatten it out, tuck in the sides, make them nice and round so they're not too messy. And that's my trick. All right, so these are flattened out, smoothed out to the best of my ability, and now we're just gonna top them with some additional chocolate chips and some walnuts. So you just wanna take a couple, maybe 2, 3, 4, and put them on top and then press them down into the top. 3 to 4 chocolate chips on each chunky monkey cookies. You guys, these are good. These are fudgy and real good. All right, and then after I've done that, I'm gonna go in with some walnuts, also just a couple. Press them in also. All right, so these have some chocolate chips on top. I tried to smooth them out. I've tucked in the edges. They look really good. I'm going to pop these in the oven. So my oven is preheated to 350. We're gonna pop these in the oven. I start with 10 minutes. If it feels like we need an extra 2 minutes, I'll do 12 minutes, so 10 to 12 minutes. And you will know they are done when the edges no longer appear wet, when they kind of look set around the edges. Don't pay too much attention to the center. If the center looks a little bit gooey, that's a-okay. If you don't like gooey centers, you can keep them in for a couple extra minutes, but I am a gooey center fan. So we're gonna start with 10 minutes, pop them in the oven, and I'll check back in with you when they are all baked. All right, you guys, these are fresh out of the oven. I let them sit for about 3 to 5 minutes on the pan, and then I transfer them to the cooling rack. And now the last step, which I always think is a necessary step, it adds a nice little touch and that sweet and salty flavor combo, which we all know and love. I'm just going to sprinkle some sea salt on top of each of the cookies, and it's gonna add a really nice saltiness to that first initial bite. It's gonna be so good. All right, once they are all nice and salted, then we can take a bite. I'm gonna go with this one. It's still so warm. Oh my God, so fudgy. This is so fudgy. I love the walnuts in there. It really adds that chocolate brownie walnut vibe to the cookie. So chocolatey and dense and rich, chunky, creamy with the melty chocolate chips in there, but really rich and decadent and dark. And I am in love with these double chocolate avocado brownie cookies. I know you guys are going to be too. I'm linking to the full recipe down below, so head down there if you want to check out all the measurements, cook times, all that good stuff. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, but don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, do all that good stuff, because I never want you to miss a recipe video. And I am Lindsay from thetoastedpinenut.com. Come find me on Instagram at thetoastedpinenut, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.